to discuss it one by one. So, what are the important terminology? What are the important points? What are the important questions? I'll tell you, and I will also dictate some lines so that you can explain those or expand those lines in your examination. It will be easier on your part to remember. You cannot remember the exact things which have been written on this particular book, but you have to remember certain meaning of the terminology, and if you understand that, you can write in your own language. So, what are the possible questions that I shall discuss from first to up to last unit? So, let us start. Come to the first unit. The first unit is your research methodology, issues, and perspectives. Okay. So, this is the very fundamental knowledge about research methodology. In this particular unit, you need to know what is research methodology, what is research. Can you tell me? You can write in your own words what is research methodology. Suppose
It is a combination
yes, combination of
theoretical perspectives, tools and techniques of data collection.
and methods of data analysis. Okay. So research methodology is a wider term and it consists of three. You have to write down in this manner. Number one, what is research methodology? You make a note. Research methodology is a wider term. It consists of the following three important elements. Number one, theoretical perspective or orientation to guide research and logic. You understand this particular sentence. What is the theoretical aspect to guide research and logic of inquiry? Second is your tools and techniques which are required for data collection. Then number three, methods of data collection. Okay, this is about research methodology. If somebody will ask you what is research, what is research methodology, तो तुम्हें कहलो, so what is research methods? Is there any difference between the two? What is research methodology and what is research method?
Yes, sir.
Hmm? Do you know what is research method?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
It's a combination of a research technique and tools.
Yes, yes. Research methods only comprises the research techniques and tools. Okay. Then while writing this particular what is the research method, it comprises of only research techniques and tools, nothing other than these two. Okay. Then you can write research technique, how does it help in collecting data and what is the way of information collection of data analysis. And you know tools, okay? Tools are the instruments that are used for the collection of data. So can you give me some example of tools which are used for the collection of data? Can you?
Interview, question.
Yes. Interviews, questionnaire, observation, then you can say uh, life histories. These are in qualitative research work you can take. And in quantitative research work, you can take the help of questionnaire, checklist, map, photographs, drawings, etc. These are the tools which are used in conducting research work. Now you are clear about what is research methodology, then what is research method. Okay. Then come to the next term, that is what is paradigm. Paradigm I have told you. Do you know what is paradigm? How can you define it? How
Sir,
can you
belief system within
yes,
which we do our work.
How actually the belief system, actually the framework or the belief system in which you have to conduct your research work. That is called paradigm. Acha. So paradigm is actually belief system, worldview or framework that guides research and practice. Okay. Then can you tell me what are the approaches to social inquiry? The question will come like this. Discuss the approaches to social science. Sorry, inquiry. What are the
Quantitative and qualitative.
quantitative and
Qualitative.
only these two? There are other approaches also. Quantitative, qualitative is there. It's all right. But beside this, there are also other approaches to social inquiry. So other approaches means mainly you can broadly divide into two categories. One is quantitative, other is qualitative. But if you are going to analyze in detail the quantitative approach, ତା ଭିତରେ କ'ଣ ଆସିବ? Can you tell me? Quantitative approach can be further subdivided. You can write down also. Your answer is correct because basically or broadly there are two approaches to social one inquiry. One is quantitative approach, second is your qualitative approach. But remember, quantitative approach can be further subdivided by subclassified into three. Number one, inferential approach, you write down. Inferential, Inferential. Inferential approach. Second is experimental, and third is simulation. Simulation. Simulation approach. Okay, is it clear? Or is there any doubt? If the question like this will come, what are the approaches to social inquiry? You have to write broadly. There are two types of approach which are used in conducting research in social science. Okay, one is quantitative and second is qualitative. So quantitative approach can be further subdivided into three categories. Number one, inferential. Number two, experimental. Number three, simulation approach. What is inferential? Can you tell me? What is inferential approach?
Survey দ্বারা
Inferential approach, yes. Meaning you have to collect samples or you have to undertake survey. Okay. Inferential approach is established through survey method and inference is drawn about characteristics or relationship of variables. Suppose you undertake a research work, price and demand, suppose take for example. Then you have to take one variable, suppose price goes rising, how the demand changes or how the demand falls. So you have to undertake a survey or you have to take sample. On the basis of that sample, you can uh, take a decision or conclusion. That is inferential. What is the experimental? Mostly in scientific study or scientific research, this experimental approach is exercised over research environment. That means in science, man, under a control system in a laboratory, for example, when you are varying one variable, then you have to see changes in other variable. ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ତ? ସାଇନ୍ସରେ ତମର ଯେମିତି ଦିଟା କେମିକାଲ ଅଛି, ଗୋଟେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କେମିକାଲ ବଢେଇ ବଢେଇ ଯିବ, ତାର କଲର କଣ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହଉଛି, କି ସେଥିରେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ନୂଆ କେମିକାଲ ପଶେଇବ, କଣ ହଉଛି କେମିଷ୍ଟ୍ରି ତମ ଲାବୋରେଟରୀ ଟେକ୍ ଫର ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ, any under control system or in a given set of laboratory, ସେଇଟା ଯୋଉଥିରେ ତମେ ତାକୁ ଏକ୍ସପେରିମେଣ୍ଟ କଣ୍ଡକ୍ଟ କରିବ, that is experimental approach. Then what is simulation approach? You remember this question ଆସିବ ପରୀକ୍ଷାରେ, distinguish between research methodology and research method. What are the approaches to social inquiry বা social research? ଏମିତି ଟାଇପ୍ର କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ତମେ ଲେଖିକି ପ୍ରିପେୟାର ହେବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ। ସିମୁଲେସନ୍ ଆପ୍ରୋଚ୍ କହିପାରିବ? You can write down, ଲେଖିଦିଅ, ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ୍ ସହିତ ତମକୁ କହୁଛି। Simulation approach are deployed as a means of simulation approach are deployed as a means of replicating real world in practice. Okay, କିଛି ବୁଝିପାରିଲ?
real world
in practice, real world in practice. So I am giving you one example. Do you know what is fire drill? Fire drill, ଜାଣିଛ କି ଟର୍ମ କଣ?
no sir
ଜାଣିନ? ତମେ ଜାଣିଛ ଫାୟାର ଡ୍ରିଲ ମାନେ ଆଗରୁ ତମେ ଦେଖିଥିବ ମଲ୍ ଫଲ୍ରେ, ତମେ ଭାବିବ ଗୋଟେ ସତ ହଉଛି, ବିଫୋର ଦ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲ ଇନସିଡେଣ୍ଟ ହାପନ୍ସ, ଦିଜ୍ ତମ ଯୋଉ ଫାୟାର ବ୍ରିଗେଡ୍ ଯୋଉମାନେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି, ଦୋଜ୍ ଆର୍ ଇନ୍ ଦିସ୍ ଫାୟାର ଷ୍ଟେସନ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଅଛନ୍ତି, ଦୋଜ୍ ଆର୍ ଇନ୍ ଚାର୍ଜ ଅଫ୍ ଏକ୍ସଟିଂସନ ଅଫ୍ ଫାୟାର, ଯୋଉ ନିଆଁ ଲିଭେଇବା ପାଇଁ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଡିପ୍ଲଏଡ୍ ହେଇକି ଅଛନ୍ତି, ସେମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ମକ୍ ଡ୍ରିଲ୍ ଜାଣିଛ ତ? ମକ୍ ଡ୍ରିଲ୍, ମକ୍ ଡ୍ରିଲ୍ କିଛି ଜାଣିଛ? ମକ୍ ମାନେ ଏଟା ସତ ନୁହେଁ, ଜଷ୍ଟ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସ କରିବା କଥା, ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ତ? এইটা হচ্ছে আর ডিপ্লয়েড as a means of replicating real world practice, মানে রিয়েল ওয়ার্ল্ড সত্য ভଳିଆ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସ କରୁଛି। ସେମାନେ କ'ଣ କରିବେ? ହଠାତ୍ ସେମାନେ ଯେମିତି ନିଆଁ ଲାଗିଲେ, ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନୋ ଫାୟାର, ବଟ୍ ନିଆଁ ଲାଗିଲେ ଯେମିତି ସିଚୁଏସନ୍ ହବ, ୟୁ ୱିଲ୍ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ସିଚୁଏସନ୍। ସିମୁଲେସନ୍ ଆପ୍ରୋଚ୍ ମାନେ ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ସିଚୁଏସନ୍ ଆଜ୍ ଇଫ୍ somewhere there is fire, ନିଆଁ ଲାଗିଛି କୋଉଠି, ତମକୁ ଏମିତି ହବ। ତେଣୁ ଇମିଡିଏଟଲି ସେମାନେ ଯୋଉ ଦମକଳ ବାଲା ସେମାନେ ଯାଇକି କରିବେ, ଲୋକମାନେ ସେମିତି ଦୌଡ଼ା ଦପଡ଼ା କରିବେ, ସେମିତି ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି ଦେ ୱିଲ୍ କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ ଏ ସିଚୁଏସନ୍, ବଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ମକ୍ ମାନେ ଯୋଉଟା ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟ ନୁହେଁ, ନକଲି ମାନେ କହୁଛୁ ସେଟା ରେପ୍ଲିକା, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ ରିଅଲ ଥିଙ୍ଗ। ତମକୁ ଲାଗିବ ଯେମିତି ବାହାର ଲୋକ ଠିଆ ହେଇଥିବ, ସତରେ କୋଉଠି ନିଆଁ ଲାଗିଲା କି? The situation will be created in that particular manner. ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି simulation approach. That means the construction of an artificial environment. I mean, artificially we have environed that there is also some sort of fire in a particular place. ତେଣୁ ସେଇଥିରୁ ତମେ ରିଲିଭାଣ୍ଟ ଡାଟା ଇଏ ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ ତମେ କଲେକ୍ସନ କରିପାରିବ, ବଟ୍ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ ରିଅଲ। ତେଣୁ ସେଥିରେ କେମିତି କ'ଣ ହଉଛି, ତମେ ଏଇଟା ହଉଛି ତମର ହଉଛି ସିମୁଲେସନ ଆପ୍ରୋଚ। Simulation approach are deployed as a means of replicating real world in practice. ବୁଝିପାରିଲ ନା? କିଛି ଡାଉଟ୍ ଅଛି କୁହ? You have to create a situation just like the real happening, but that is not real. That is called example ଦେଲି ଗୋଟେ ଫାୟାର ଡିପାର୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟ ବେଳେ ବେଳେ ସେମିତି ସବୁ ଡ୍ରିଲ୍ ଇଏ କରେ ତମର ବମ୍ ମାନେ ଯେଉଁମାନେ ବମ୍ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲୋଜନ ଯେଉଁମାନେ ସେ ବମ୍ ସ୍କ୍ୱାଡ୍ ଅଛି ସେମାନେ ମଧ୍ୟ ମଝିରେ ମଝିରେ ସେମିତି ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଜାଗାରେ ମଲ୍ରେ ରେଲୱେ ଷ୍ଟେସନରେ ସେମିତି ଗୋଟେ ସିଚୁଏସନ୍ କ୍ରିଏଟ୍ କରନ୍ତି ତମକୁ ଲାଗିବ ଯେମିତି ଆଜି ଦେର୍ ଇଜ୍ ଏ ବମ୍ ସମୱେୟାର କିନ୍ତୁ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ବିଙ୍ଗ କ୍ରିଏଟେଡ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ କଲ୍ଡ ୟୁର ମକ୍ ଡ୍ରିଲ୍ ସେଇଥିରୁ ତମେ ଜାଣିପାରିବ କ'ଣ କେମିତି ସିଚୁଏସନ୍ ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ଟେକ୍ information you can take data also that is called simulation. Then qualitative approach, you know, results are generated either in non-quantitative form or in the form which are subjected to relatively less rigorous quantitative treatment. Because qualitative approach is based on subjective assessment of attitude, opinion, behavior, everything. That is called qualitative approach. Then the next question is, what is research process? What do you mean by research process? Can you tell me?
The process in which we can conduct our research.
Research process. Okay. So,
जोटा
can you
स्टेप
tell?
को बुझाउची
Hmm?
रिसर्च प्रोसेस गोटे स्टेप को बुझाउची माने
Research process टा ଗୋଟେ process definitely consist of some steps. ଗୋଟେ process ଟା ତ it will ମାନେ lengthy process ତା ବିଷୟରେ ତ କେତେଟା ତ ଭାଗ ଭାଗ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ନା the process you cannot take it entire ମାନେ the entire thing into consideration. You have to consider it step by step. So research process refers to different steps involved in a desired sequence in carrying out research. Research କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଆମକୁ research process ସେଥିରେ କ'ଣ କ'ଣ step ଅଛି? Can you tell me what are the steps involved in this research process? ସେଇଟା ତମକୁ ମନେ ରଖିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ. Do you remember?
सर फर्स्ट
Finding
रिसर्च
problem.
प्रॉब्लम
Then
लिटरेचर रिव्यू
hmm,
ऑब्जेक्टिव hypothesis research design collection of data analyzing the data report writing.
Exactly. So these are the process or these are the steps in the research process. The question will come like this. First of all, we will define research process refers to different steps involved in carrying out research work. So the various steps involved in research work can be described in different steps. Number 1 ତମେ ଲେଖିଲ, number 2, number 3, and also defining research problem ତମେ you can write 1 to 2 lines. ଏଟା ତ ଏମିତି ଖାଲି ଲେଖିଦେଲ. Defining research problem ମାନେ first of all research problem should be defined. ନା ନାଇଁ, you have to select or defined what you are going to do. ତମେ କ'ଣ କରିବାକୁ ଯାଉଛ ସେମିତି ସେମିତି ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ଇଏ ଲାଇନରେ ତମେ କିଛି ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲେନ୍ କରିବ ହେଲା. Review of literature, I have told you, I have discussed. Formulation of hypothesis, I have told you. ଏଟା କିଛି କ୍ଲିୟର ଡାଉଟ୍ ନଥିବ. Research design, collection of data ଭିତରେ ତମେ ଲେଖିବ data are of two types ନା ନାଇଁ, କ'ଣ କ'ଣ data ଅଛି? Mainly data କେତେ ପ୍ରକାର କୁହ?
Quantitative data, qualitative data, sir.
Qualitative data ତ qualitative data ତ ଆମେ କହିବାନି.
So primary data and secondary data. So primary data and secondary data.
ଆମେ qualitative research କହିବା, quantitative research କହିପାରିବା, କିନ୍ତୁ ସବୁର data are concern ଆମେ ସେଇଟାକୁ କହିବା data ମାନେ ତମର ଯୋଉ କେମିତି, what is the method of collection of data? I want to say that what is the method of collection of data?
Primary source of data and secondary source of data.
It may be of two types, primary data and secondary data. So what is primary data? Can you tell me?
First hand data.
Primary data is the first hand data or first hand information which are collected for the first time. Okay. Example, can you give me one example of primary data?
ଯୋଉଥିରେ ଆମେ ନିଜେ ଇନଭଲ୍ଭ ହେଇକି ଡାଟା କଲେକ୍ଟ କରୁଛେ
ହଁ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ହେଲା ତମର ଯୋଉ ପପୁଲେସନ ସେନ୍ସସ୍ ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ତ ପପୁଲେସନ ସେନ୍ସସ୍ ଯୋଉ ପ୍ରତି 10 ବର୍ଷରେ ହଉଛି that is based on primary data because the person concerned those are involved in the collection of data they have to move from door to door ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ଘରକୁ ଯାଇକି they are collecting therefore it takes a very long time 10 ବର୍ଷ କାହିଁ ଲାଗୁଛି ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି ତମର primary data okay then secondary data which have already been collected by somebody else means either kiଏ researcher ଆଗରୁ collection କରିଛି or by government agency or any institution anybody else ବି ପେପରରେ ବାହାରିଛି କି ତମର ମାଗାଜିନରେ ବାହାରିଛି କି କୋଉଠି ଅଛି ତମର already ସେଇଟା ତମର ହେଲା secondary data if you are using that data which have already been published ପବ୍ଲିଶ ହେଇଥାଇପାରୁ ନ ହେଇଥାଇପାରେ ବି ଯଦି କଲେକ୍ସନ ଅଲରେଡି ଆଗରୁ ହେଇଛି ତମେ ତାକୁ ୟୁଜ୍ କରୁଛ that comes under secondary data okay then analysis of data analysis ଜାଣିଛ analysis ତମକୁ tabulation କରିପାରିବ in the form of table so data କୁ ଆଣି tabular form ରେ you have to present so that you can make a comparison okay acha report writing you can write report writing ମାନେ କଣ এটা কোশ্চেন আসপারে পরীক্ষারে হোয়াট ইজ রিপোর্ট রাইটিং
The summarizing of research.
ସମରାଇଜ ହଁ ତେଣୁ ରିପୋର୍ଟ ରାଇଟିଂରେ ସେମିତି ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଷ୍ଟେପ୍ସ ଅଛି ତମେ ଯୋଉ ଲଙ୍ଗ କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ 4 ମାର୍କିଆ 5 ମାର୍କିଆ କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଆସିବ ତମେ ସେଇଠୁ କ'ଣ ଲେଖିବ ତମେ ଯାହା ଲେଖିଲ ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ରିପୋର୍ଟ ରାଇଟିଂରେ ବି ସ୍କିଲ୍ ଦରକାର ୟୁ ନିଡ୍ ସ୍କିଲ୍ ସମସ୍ତେ ଭଲ ରିପୋର୍ଟ ଲେଖିପାରିବେ ନାହିଁ ହେଲା research report needs to be presented in a manner that the readers can grasp the context methodology and findings easily ତମେ ଏମିତି ରିପୋର୍ଟ ଲେଖିବ ଯଦି କେହି ବୁଝି ନ ପାରିବେ what is the meaning of writing reports କିଛି ଲାଭ ନାହିଁ ତେଣୁ ମନେ ରଖ ତମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ରିପୋର୍ଟ ଲେଖୁଛ when you are going to write a report on the basis of study which you have made or on the basis of research which you have conducted you are writing your report on that basis or your findings and conclusions are included in your report writing. So while writing report, first of all, it will consist of two parts. Number one, what is preliminary page, second is main text. Preliminary page re kon lekhibo? You should indicate the title of the research lekhibo study, name of the researcher, ବୁଝି ପାରୁଛ ତ? The information. ତମର ଟାଇଟଲ କ'ଣ ମାନେ ଟପିକଟା କ'ଣ କିଏ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ କରୁଛି ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚର ନାଁ କ'ଣ କୋଉ ଇନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁସନ ତରଫରୁ ତମେ କରୁଛ କେବେ କରୁଛ ରିପୋର୍ଟ ସବୁଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଡିଟେଲ ହେଲା ଏଇଟା ହେଲା ଜଣେ ଦେଖିଲେ ଜାଣିପାରିବ ଯେ ଏଇ ପିଲା ବା ଏଇ ଲୋକ ଏଇ ଇନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁସନ ତରଫରୁ ଏଇ ରିପୋର୍ଟ ଲେଖିଛି ତାପରେ ତମେ ପ୍ରିଫେସ୍ ଲେଖିବ ପ୍ରିଫେସ୍ ଯେମିତି ତମେ ଲେଖୁଛ ପ୍ରିଫେସ୍ ଜାଣିଛ ତ ତାପରେ ଯାଇକି ତମର ମେନ୍ ରିପୋର୍ଟଟା ଆସିବ ତମେ ଯାହା ଫାଇଣ୍ଡ କଲ ଯାହା ତମର ସେଇଟା ତାପରେ ଯାଇକି ଲେଖିବ ହେଲା ଚାପ୍ଟର ୱାଇଜ ତମେ ୱିଥ୍ ଆନ୍ ଇଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଡକ୍ଟରୀ ଚାପ୍ଟର ଫଲୋଡ୍ ବାଇ ଦ ମେଜର ଆସ୍ପେକ୍ଟ
ସାର୍ ଲେଫ୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲେ କି?
ସାର୍ ବୋଧେ ଲେଫ୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲେ।
କିଛି କହିନାହାନ୍ତି ଲେଫ୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲେ କଣ ପାଇଁ, ନା ସଡନ ଲେଫ୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲେ?
ସଡନ ଲେଫ୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲେ, କିଛି କଥା କହିନାହାନ୍ତି।
ମାନେ ଇଣ୍ଟରନେଟ ବୋଧେ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଥିବ, ବର୍ଷା ଜୋରେ ହଉଛି ନା, ମେ ବି।
ଆଜ୍ଞା। ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଏ ଯୋଉ ଇଗ୍ନୋର ହଉଥିଲା ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି। ହ୍ୟାଲୋ।
ହଁ
ହ୍ୟାଲୋ।
କୁହନ୍ତୁ କୁହନ୍ତୁ, ହଁ କୁହନ୍ତୁ।
ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଏ ଯୋଉ ଆମର ଇଗ୍ନୋର ଗୋଟେ ହଉଥିଲା ସଣ୍ଡେ ଟୁ ସଣ୍ଡେ କ୍ଲାସ, ସେଇଟା ଏବେ ହଉନି, ଏଟା ଅନଲାଇନ କ୍ଲାସ କେବଳ ହଉଛି।
ହଁ ହଁ ଅନଲାଇନ କ୍ଲାସ ହଉଛି, ସଣ୍ଡେ କ୍ଲାସ ଆଉ ହଉନି, ଯୋଉ ଫିଜିକାଲ ମୋଡରେ
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ସେଇଟା ହଉନି। ନା ସେଇଟା ହଉନି, ସେ ତ ମେଲ ରେ କହିଥିଲେ ଅନଲାଇନ ମୋଡରେ କ୍ଲାସ ହବ ବୋଲି।
ସବୁ ଠିକ ଅଛି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଅନଲାଇନ କ୍ଲାସ ତ ମୁଁ କରିପାରୁନି, ସେଟା ହଉଛି ମୋ ପାଇଁ ବଡ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ। ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ଦିନ କଲେ 4 ଦିନ ମୋର ବନ୍ଦ ହେଇଯାଉଛି
ଆଚ୍ଛା
ଅଫିସ କାମରେ।
ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆଚ୍ଛା।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ହଉ। ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଫର୍ମ ଫିଲଅପ ଡେଟ୍ ଅଛି, ଲାଷ୍ଟ ଡେଟ୍ 20 ଏପ୍ରିଲ ନା?
ହଁ ହଁ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସେଟା ଆଜି 17। ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ଅପରାଜିତା। ହ୍ୟାଲୋ।
ହ୍ୟାଲୋ।
ଫର୍ମ ଫିଲଅପ କଲେଣି?
ନାଇଁ ତମେ ଏଇଠି ପଚାରୁଛ? ହଁ କରିଛି।
କିଏ କଲ?
ଏଇ 2 days ପୂର୍ବରୁ।
6 ପେପର ତ?
ହୁଁ।
ସେଦିନ ଗୋଟେ ଅକ୍ଷୟ ତୃତୀୟା, ଅକ୍ଷୟ ତୃତୀୟା ଦିନ ମୋର ତ ନିର୍ବନ୍ଧ, ସେଦିନ ମୁଁ ଆସିବି।
Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there is some problem in internet. Okay, do you see the chapter on the screen? Is it
Yes,
visible?
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. So then we are discussing about report writing. Then you can easily write. There is no problem virtually. I think it's not so difficult for you to understand, and you can also go through your book. The report writing, first of all, what is the report writing? You know, when you are after on finishing your research work or after the analyzing the data, then you have to write the report on the basis of your study. First of all, the report should be of comprises of two parts. One is your preliminary page, and second is your main text. In the preliminary page, you have to write actually the title of your research study, or the name of the researcher, the institution in which you are working, and also the everything, the month and year of the preparation of the report you can write. Then after that what we'll do, this will be followed by a preface. Preface ତମେ ଜାଣିଛ ଯେମିତି ଲେଖା ହୁଏ ଯେକୌଣସି ବୁକ୍ ର ପୂର୍ବରୁ preface ଟା ଥାଏ, ତେଣୁ preface ରେ whatever you want to write you can give a short uh, description. Then after that you will write the main text, what you have studied and what you have found from your research work. Then come to hypothesis. Hypothesis, I think you are clear about hypothesis. So far hypothesis is concerned, you can say hypothesis is generated from a theory. When a hypothesis is generated from a theory, it is called deductive approach. Is it clear? Do you follow me or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When a hypothesis is generated from a theory, and from theory when you are deducing and taking it a specific case, then it is called deductive approach. On the other hand, when it is generated from observation, from a specific study, and you are generalizing it, that is called inductive approach. That you know, so you can write it. Deductive approach, first theory, then hypothesis, then observation, then confirmation. Then inductive approach, first observation, then pattern, then hypothesis, then theory. So these are two type of hypothesis. And then come your the nature, sources and types of data. Okay. So far as data are concerned, data may be of types of data. Primary data ho, secondary ho, the data may be of three types. Number one, time series data. Second is cross section data. You remember, these three are also important from your examination point of view. So what is time series data? Can you tell me? Can you tell me types of data?
Analysis of variables things.
Time series data and analysis of variable dates are right. But why it is called time series data? Tell me. Why it is called time series data? Time କାହିଁକି ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ? It refers to a particular time period. Okay. Either whether you are taking data weekly, week wise, or month wise, or year wise, or quarterly. Therefore, it is called time series data. Time series data means data or the set of observation that a variable takes at different times. এই সপ্তাহে এইটা নেলা সেই সপ্তাহে, but suppose you are taking weekly or monthly or quarterly, so therefore it is called time series data. Cross section data means, what is cross section data? କହିପାରିବ? Cross section, CROSS, cross section data. Cross section data means data when one or more variables are collected at the same point of time. Take for example of population, data on population, census of population. What happens? In population census, data are collected, the number of family or the family members, the education, their income, so many variables are taken into consideration or collected simultaneously. एका संगरे दी तीनटा वेरिएबल को आमे हिसाब को नउचे डाटा कलेक्शन बेले इनकम कार पचरुते तार केते पिला छुआ अछंती, सेकंड हला समानकर केते आउ तमर आउ कोन फैक्टर एजुकेशन पचारि पारो, इनकम पचारि पारो, फैमिली साइज, तेनो एका संगरे जदी मोर वेरिएबल्स आर टेकन इनटू कंसीडरेशन फॉर डाटा कलेक्शन, दैट इज कॉल्ड क्रॉस सेक्शन डाटा. Then pooled data would also pooled, POOLED, pooled data. What is the meaning of pooled data? Pooled means taking together. Pooled data which the elements of both time series and cross section. For example, pooled data माने over a period of time. 2000 ରୁ 2015 ମସିହା କି 2020 ମସିହା, over a period of time you are collecting data on different aspects, saving, investment, GDP, so many things are there on which you are collecting data. It is pool data, but a period is very large. 10 वर्ष 15 वर्ष धरिकी तुम कर सेविंग केते थिला 15 वर्ष भीतर, इन्वेस्टमेंट केते, तुम जीडीपी केते, ऑल दिस थिंग्स. ओके, so remember one thing, sources of data, the data used in empirical analysis may be collected by a government agency. Data किए collection करछि जानछो तमे? CSO कोन जानछो? National Sample Survey Organization, RBI, Reserve Bank of India, हैला. तेणु एई सब संस्था तुम डाटा कलेक्शन करे. Then comes to your scale, measurement of scales of variation. It is an important question. What are different types of scales? Different types of scales. Can you tell me?
nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio.
तो बुझिछ कि ता माने मोने किछि डाउट अछि मत पूछ.
No sir, nominal means number उपरे और ordinal रा माने सर बुझिछु.
बुझिछि हेछि तो.
हां सर, एटा थिला +3 रे.
ला तो किछ असुविधा नै तो. Question एमते आसीबो, what are the 4 types of measurement scales, or what are the scales of measurement for variables? Then you have to write accordingly. What are the scales of measurement for variables? Asile tome lekhibo, there are 4 scales of measurement. One is nominal, second is ordinal, third interval, and then hela ratio. Hela. And example तुमको यदि जने पचारिबो, nominal scale categorize data into groups without any order, while ordinal scales rank data in a specific order. बुझी परछो ना? Nominal scale टा तमे तो कहउछो category data into groups without any order. I colors मनकर मु कहली red, yellow, white, काहाकू कोन देखा जाउची, आमे सेटा कहउछे nominal scale रे. किछि डिफरेंस सेथरे नाही. Ordinal scale होची rank data in a specific order. That means कौन तुम सपोज तुम फिल्म देखुच तुम फिल्म रेटिंग देखुन तुम नेट रे जेकोसी रेस्टोरेंट जाओ खाइबा को कि फिल्म जा देखिया को बिफोर गोइंग डेफिनेटली यू मस्ट हैव टू चेक व्हाट इज द रेटिंग तार कौन अच्छी डाटा किए के रेटिंग के 5 स्केल रे स्केल ऑफ 5 रे किए 4.2 पाई 4.1 जे हाईएस्ट पाई 4.7 की 8 तुम सेटा को देखि चूज करछो यू चूज दैट पर्टिकुलर रेस्टोरेंट और you choose that particular movie and that is based on that is called your ordinal scale ना बुझी पारलनी डाउट रहिला तमरो बुझी पारलो तो suppose you are asked by researcher to rank 5 fruits from most favorable to least favorable तमे मन कर you give apple 4.3 you give orange 4.4 you give grapes 4.7 so that is a ranking ordinal scale is different because different ranks have been assigned to create an ordinal scale of preference सेटा होची तमरो ordinal scale out of the interval scale what is interval scale interval scale विषय कौन जानछो को
डिग्री माने ऊपर सेटा डिफरेंस
actually interval scale hoji when we not only talk about the differences in order but also differences in the degree of order example temperature in celsius or fahrenheit years example 2023 2024 केते टेम्परेचर ला तार भीतर जो डिफरेंस टा हम ये करछे दैट इज कॉल्ड इंटरवल स्केल देन सेकंड रेशियो स्केल माने categories are ordered intervals are equal and there is a 0 point allowing the ratios of values take for example height weight age number of children income एवडा सब तमर जाउची रेशियो स्केल रे तापर स्केल पर तमर एटा तो एती गला फर्स्ट यूनिट एती फर्स्ट यूनिट रे विशेष किछि तमर कष्ट जिंस किछि नाही बुझि परलो ना फर्स्ट यूनिट रे ओनली फंडामेंटल भलो क्वेश्चन हे परिबो एवं तमे आराम रे लिख परिबो यू विल फेस नो वर्चुअली नो डिफिकल्टी इन द फर्स्ट यूनिट सेकंड यूनिट टा तमर जो अछि अप्रोचेस टू साइंटिफिक नॉलेज जो पॉजिटिविज्म पोस्ट पॉजिटिविज्म सेटा रे किछि डिफिकल्ट नाही बट यू हैव टू टिके भलो कि देटा को पढिया पे पडिबो
हेलो हेलो सर हेलो सर sir told that there is nothing like quantitative data but I
क्वांटिटेटिव
found data
हम्म
but I found a question what is asked by the examiner in exam about quantitative and qualitative data
हम्म
and they also ask about the various scale to measure the data
यस
so
स्केल हां
but sir आपण तो कहिथिले जे क्वांटिटेटिव और क्वालिटेटिव डाटा कही कुहा जाई परिबोनी बट क्वेश्चन तो आछि जे क्वांटिटेटिव और क्वालिटेटिव डाटा डिफरेंस पार्थक्य दर्शाइबा पई कहिसंती जे क्वांटिटेटिव और क्वालिटेटिव डाटा भितरे पार्थक्य
क्वालिटेटिव डाटा तमे कहबोनी तुम जो डाटा व्हिच आर न्यूमेरिकली यू कैन डायरेक्टली कलेक्ट और क्वालिटेटिव डाटा होची तमरो क्वालिटेटिव डाटा केमती तुम कलेक्शन करिवो जोटा एटीट्यूड जोटा टेम्परामेंट क्वालिटेटिव एस्पेक्ट रो सेटा को तमे सेटा को डिराइव करिवो क्वालिटेटिव डाटा सेटा होची क्वांटिटेटिव डाटा माने which are concrete तमरो केते height अछि केते ओजन माने पर्टिकुलर जिंसर weight केते अछि these are all called quantitative data. But qualitative data means data which are collected from the qualitative aspects like the attitude hela, behavior hela, all these things, intelligence hela, talent hela. So you have to undertake a research. That means you may conduct interview, you may ask questions through these, and by utilizing different technique, and you can also collect data. ସେଇଟା ତମର ଯଦି ସପୋଜ ହାଉ ତମେ ଇଣ୍ଟେଲିଜେଣ୍ଟ କେତେ ଇଣ୍ଟେଲିଜେଣ୍ଟ ଅଛ ସେଟା ଜାଣିବେ କେମିତି ସେଟା ଜାଣିବା ପାଇଁ ତମକୁ ଗୋଟେ ପରୀକ୍ଷା କରାହଉଛି ପରୀକ୍ଷାରେ ସପୋଜ somebody scored 60 somebody scored 70 somebody scored 80 ତାହେଲେ ଯେ 80 ରଖିଛି ଆମେ କହିବା ଯେ ହି ମୋଷ୍ଟ ବେଶୀ ଟାଲେଣ୍ଟେଡ ତେଣୁ ସେଇଥିରୁ ଆମେ କଲେକ୍ସନ କରିବା ତେଣୁ ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି କ୍ୱାଣ୍ଟିଟେଟିଭ ଆଉ କ୍ୱାଲିଟେଟିଭ ଆଉ ଯଦି କ୍ୱାଣ୍ଟିଟେଟିଭ ଆପ୍ରୋଚ ଆଉ କ୍ୱାଲିଟେଟିଭ ଆପ୍ରୋଚ ହବ କ୍ୱାଣ୍ଟିଟେଟିଭ ଆପ୍ରୋଚରେ ତମେ ତିନିଟା ଆପ୍ରୋଚ ଲେଖିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ଯୋଉ ସିମୁଲେସନ ଆପ୍ରୋଚ ଯୋଉଟା ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଆପ୍ରୋଚ ଟୁ ସୋସିଆଲ ଷ୍ଟଡି ଆପ୍ରୋଚ ଟୁ ସେଥିରେ ଲେଖିବ ଦିଟା ଆପ୍ରୋଚ କ୍ୱାଣ୍ଟିଟେଟିଭ ଆପ୍ରୋଚ ର ତିନିଟା ଅଛି ସେ ତିନିଟା ଲେଖି ସାରିଲା ପରେ ତାପରେ ଲେଖିବ କ୍ୱାଲିଟେଟିଭ
Sir, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ question ଅଛି. Using suitable examples, the following data collection method. A ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି start sir ଏଥିରେ ଡାଟା ଉପରେ ପଚାରିଛନ୍ତି ଡାଟା କଲେକ୍ସନ ଉପରେ methods କୁ ନେଇକି stratified random sampling ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି purposive sampling question ପଚାରିଛନ୍ତି ଯେ using suitable explain the following data collection method ତାପରେ ଏଇ ଦିଟା ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି
ହଁ ଡାଟା କଲେକ୍ସନ ମେଥଡରେ ତମର ପର୍ପୋସିଭ ସାମ୍ପଲିଂ ମାନେ କଣ purposive sample ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ random sampling ଜାଣିଛ ତ ନା ନାଇଁ तो जो डाटा कलेक्शन करूचो सुनो सपोज टेक फॉर एग्जांपल एन यूनिवर्स हला
आज्ञा
सो इट इज नॉट ऑलवेज पॉसिबल तमे को सब कलेक्शन करिया संभव की
ना
इज इट पॉसिबल टू कलेक्ट डाटा so most of the time samples are taken sample ना नहीं अच्छा
आज्ञा बुझी
बुझी अच्छा सैंपल टा तमे कलेक्शन करूचो जो रैंडम सैंपल जदि मु कहबी तमे मनकर 100 भितरु रैंडमली यू हैव टू चूज 5 और 10 पर्सन्स कि जे कोनसी तुम लॉटरी कोई उठिया पे तमे 100 टारो आखि बुझी कि जे कोनसी जे माने एवरी यूनिट इज हैविंग द इक्वल प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ बीइंग ड्रॉन ये भी भई पारे से भी हे पारे जे कोन तमर जंती लॉटरी उठुचो जंती लॉटरी तमे किनुचो लॉटरी टिकट तो जहार भी उठी पारे तेणु सैंपलिंग टा हूँ तुम रैंडम सैंपलिंग गोटे अच्छी आउ गोटे जो कौच पर्पसिव सैंपलिंग टा हूँ नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी सैंपलिंग है that involves selecting research participant based on specific characteristics for example mu tumu कहूची it is also called judgmental sampling selective अच्छा यार पर्पस होची टू सिलेक्ट पार्टिसिपेंट्स हु आर मोस्ट लाइकली टू प्रोवाइड यूजुअल इंफॉर्मेशन बुझी परछो तमरो गोटे जिंस चोरी हैला बुझी परछो ना नहीं
आज्ञा
सपोज जते बेले गोटे जिंस कार चोरी हैला मोटरसाइकिल की गाड़ी कार चोरी हैला जे कोन जिंस चोरी हैला तमे थाना दे एफआईआर देलो तेनु पुलिस वाला काहाकू डाकी पचारिए पाखा पाखी लोक कोन जहाकू डाकी पचारिबे कि सेठी से देखिए यही पाखरे किए सब चोर अच्छा माने आगुरी कार रेकर्ड खराब अच्छी जो मैंने ये आगुरी चोरी करते सी आगुरी से दल भितर लोक पचारे बुझीपार तो से भद्र लोक डाक थाना को पचारे से पर्पसिव सैंपल बुझीपार टू सिलेक्ट पार्टिसिपेंट्स हु आर मोस्ट लाइकली टू प्रोवाइड यूजफुल इनफॉरमेशन के दे परिबो से चोर माने दे परिबे ना भद्र लोक दे परिबे चोरी के करची बोली
चोर
चोरी माने ही दे परिबे ତେଣୁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ପର୍ପସିଭଲି ଲୋକମାନେ ସେଇ ଗ୍ରୁପକୁ ଡାକିକି ପଚାରିବେ। ତମକୁ ମନେକର କହିବି ଗାଡିଟେ ଗୋଟେ ଥୁଆ ହେଇଛି, ଏଠି ଗୋଟେ ଗାଡି ତମର ଥୁଆ ହେଇଛି ମନେକର ସେ ଗୋଟେ ଅଡି କାର ଥୁଆ ହେଇଛି, କି ତମର ଗୋଟେ ଯେକୌଣସି ଗୋଟେ ଦାମିକିଆ କାର ରାସ୍ତା ଉପରେ ଠିଆ ହେଇଛି, କି ଯାଇକି ପଚାରିବ ଯଦି ଲୋକ, ସେ କଣ ପାନ ଦୋକାନୀ ଯାଇ ପଚାରିବ ଗାଡି କାର ଥୁଆ ହେଇଛି? ତୁ ଗାଡି ଥୋଇଛି ତାକୁ ପଚାରିବ କି କହୁନୁ? ଅଡି କାର ହେଲା କି ତମର ଯେକୌଣସି ମର୍ସିଡିଜ କାର ହେଲା, ଏଗୁଡା କୁଆଡେ ଧନୀ ଲୋକମାନେ ଚଲାନ୍ତି ନା ନାଇଁ, ଯାହା ପାଇଁ ପଇସା ଅଛି।
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ତେଣୁ ସେଠି ଯଦି ଯେତେ ଧନୀ ଲୋକ ଥିବ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଯାଇକି ପୋଲିସ ପଚାରିବ ଆରେ ଗାଡିଟା କାହାର ଅଛି, ନା ସେ ପାନ ଦୋକାନୀ କି ସେ ଗ୍ରୋସରୀ ଦୋକାନୀ ବାଲାଙ୍କୁ ପଚାରିବ। ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ପର୍ପସିଭ ସାମ୍ପଲିଂ ହେଲା ଯୋଉଟା ତମର ଗୋଟେ ପର୍ପସରେ, ଏଇ ପର୍ପସରେ ହେଇଛି ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ ନା ମୁଁ ଏଇ ପର୍ଟିକୁଲାର ଗ୍ରୁପକୁ ଟାର୍ଗେଟ କରିବି। I will ask questions to that particular group, to not to any other group. ହେଲା, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଣ କହୁଥିଲ?
ନାଇଁ ସାର୍ ଏତିକି।
ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ପର୍ପସିଭ ଗୋଟେ ଥିଲା, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଣ ତମର କଣ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରାଟିଫାଏଡ?
Stratified random sampling.
ହଁ, ସେଇଟା କଣ ବୁଝିଛ କି ତମେ? ଷ୍ଟ୍ରାଟିଫାଏଡ ରାଣ୍ଡମ ସାମ୍ପଲିଂ କଣ?
ସେଟା ଆପଣ କହିବେ ଏବେ ୟା ଆଗରୁ କହିଲେ ନା ଯେ
ନାଇଁ,
ସବୁ
ସେଇଟା ମୁଁ
ରାଜ୍ୟ
ଖାଲି ରାଣ୍ଡମ କହିଲି, ଖାଲି ରାଣ୍ଡମ ସାମ୍ପଲିଂ ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି, ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ? ଆଉ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଗୋଟେ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରାଟିଫାଏଡ ରାଣ୍ଡମ ସାମ୍ପଲିଂ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ବି ଅଛି ଅଲଗା, ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି ଷ୍ଟ୍ରାଟିଫାଏଡ ରାଣ୍ଡମ ସାମ୍ପଲିଂ। ଏଥିରେ ତମର ଷ୍ଟ୍ରାଟିଫାଏଡ ରାଣ୍ଡମ ସାମ୍ପଲିଂ ଟା କଣ? For research, actually, suppose the target market is split into two strata based on gender, where there are 1 minute just. Hello. ନାଇଁ ବୁଲୁଟା ହେଉଛି ଆମର ସିଆର ରାଙ୍କ ବିଷୟ। ହଁ ଦେଖ, ହଁ 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 କାଲି ହଁ ହଁ ଟିକେ 10ଟା କେତେବେଳେ ପଳଉଛନ୍ତି ଆପଣ? ଯୋଉ ଆସିବେ ତମେ ଟିକେ ଟାଇମଟା କରିଦେଇଥାନ୍ତ। हेलो
ये सर
हाँ अच्छा now we are discussing about stratified sampling. Acha. For research, actually, the target mark. Suppose you when you are going to split into two strata माने कौन? Divide करियो one strata. हमें तो divide करियो entire population को when you are going to divide into two parts, or you can split into two parts. Suppose there are okay. Suppose take for example in the random sampling, stratified random sampling means random sampling means from a population jeti class ru suppose in class of 60 students, then you have to choose 10 students randomly. So you may choose any 10. Okay. Stratified random sampling hochi suppose in a class of 20 students where 18 are males, 18 are boys and 2 are girls. And a researcher wanted a sample of 10. Okay. The researcher wanted a sample of 10. The sample would consist of 9 randomly chosen males and 1 randomly chosen female to represent this population. Okay. Suppose सी चाहूची बुझी पारछु ना नहीं मुझे कहूची बुझी पारलो मन करो 20 हाँ 20 स्टूडेंट अछंती गोटे क्लास रे ସେଥିରୁ 18 ହଉଛନ୍ତି ପୁଅ ଆଉ 2 ହଉଛନ୍ତି ଝିଅ and your intention is not to select 10 students randomly. Your intention is to choose 10 samples which will consist of 9 randomly chosen males and 1 randomly chosen female. Then what you will do? कौन करियो तमे ताकू दीटा स्ट्राटा विभाग करिवो कि नहीं 18 2 करिवो कि नहीं 18 ରୁ ତମେ 9ଟା ନବ ସାମ୍ପଲ ଡ୍ର କରିବ ଆଉ ଯୋଉ ଦୁଇଟା ଝିଅ ଅଛନ୍ତି ସେଠୁ ନହେଲେ ତମର ପୁଅ ଝିଅ ମିଶିକି ରହିବେ କି ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ତ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ନା ବୁଝିପାରିଲନି ତମକୁ ଯଦି ଖାଲି କୁହାଯିବ ଯେକୌଣସି ଗୋଟେ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ଯୋଉ ଝିଅ ହଉ ପୁଅ ହଉ ତମେ ଯେକୌଣସି 10ଟା ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ତମେ 20ଟା ପିଲା ଭିତରୁ ବାଛିକି ଦିଅ ତମେ ରାଣ୍ଡମଲି 10ଟା ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ଟାଣି ଆଣିଲ ତମକୁ କୁହାଯିବ ତମେ 10ଟା ପିଲା ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ଦିଅ ଯୋଉଥିରେ 9ଟା ପୁଅ ଥିବେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଝିଅ ଥିବ ତମେ କେମିତି କରିବ ତମେ ଯୋଉ 10ଟା ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ଟାଣିବ ରାଣ୍ଡମଲି ଯଦି ତମେ ଟାଣିଦବ ତାହେଲେ କଣ ହବ 10ଟାକ ପୁଅ ହେଇପାରନ୍ତି ନା ନାହିଁ ଝିଅଟି ନ ଆସିପାରେ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ହଁ ଯଦି ତମେ ତାକୁ ପ୍ରଥମେ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରାଟା ବା ଡିଭାଇଡ କରିଦେଲ ଦି ଭାଗରେ ପୁଅଙ୍କୁ ଆଉ ଝିଅକୁ ଅଲଗା ପୁଅ ମାନଙ୍କ ଭିତରୁ 9ଟା ନେଲ ସାମ୍ପଲ ଝିଅ ମାନଙ୍କ ଭିତରୁ ଗୋଟେ ନେଲ ଗୋଟେ ଝିଅ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ଆସିବ ତେଣୁ ଏଇ ପିଲା ଭିତରୁ 18ଟା ପୁଅ ଭିତରୁ 9ଟା ପୁଅ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ଆସିବେ। ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ୍ କଲ୍ଡ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରାଟିଫାଏଡ୍ ରାଣ୍ଡମ୍ ସାମ୍ପଲିଂ। when a particular ମାନେ ତମର ଗୋଟିଏ ଯଦି ଦିଆଯାଇଥିବ ଏଇଟା ହବ ବୋଲି, ସେତେବେଳେ ତମକୁ ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ ଡିଭାଇଡ୍ ଇନ୍ 2 strata, ଦିଟା ଇଏରେ ଡିଭିଜନ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ। ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ କଲ୍ଡ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରାଟିଫାଏଡ୍ ରାଣ୍ଡମ୍ ସାମ୍ପଲିଂ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ଆଚ୍ଛା, ତାପରେ ତମର ଆମେ ଆଉ ଖାଲି ଗଡ଼େଇ ଦେବା ଆଜି, ଆଉ ଖାଲି କ'ଣ କ'ଣ ଅଛି ମୁଁ ତୁମକୁ କହିଦେଉଛି। ତମର ତ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ୟୁନିଟ୍ଟା ତୁମକୁ ବଢ଼ିଆ କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ହବନି, ଏଇଟା ବି ହବନି। ତମେ କିନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଯଦି ତମେ ଟିକେ ଲେଖିଥିବ ଲାଇନ୍ ଗୁଡ଼ା ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ଯୋଉ କହିଛି, ସେକେଣ୍ଡଟା ବୋଧେ ଆସୁଛି ପଜିଟିଭିଜିମ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ପୋଷ୍ଟ ପଜିଟିଭିଜିମ୍। ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ୟୁନିଟ୍ଟା କ'ଣ? ପଜିଟିଭିଜିମ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ପୋଷ୍ଟ ପଜିଟିଭିଜିମ୍।
Yes sir.
ହଁ, এইটা ଟିକେ ତମେ କେୟାରଫୁଲି ଟିକେ ପଢିବ ଏଇଥିରେ, କାରଣ ଜିନିଷ ଅଛି ତମର ପଜିଟିଭିଷ୍ଟ ଫିଲୋସଫି ଅଫ ସାଇନ୍ସ ପ୍ରଥମେ ଦେଖିବ, ତାପରେ ତମର ଆଟାକ୍ ଅନ୍ ପଜିଟିଭିଷ୍ଟ ଫିଲୋସଫି ଅଫ ସାଇନ୍ସ, କେମିତି ହାଉ ଦେ ୱର୍ କ୍ରିଟିସାଇଜ୍। ଯେଉଁମାନେ ପଜିଟିଭିଷ୍ଟ ଫିଲୋସଫି ଅଫ ସାଇନ୍ସ ଯେଉଁମାନେ କହିଥିଲେ, ଦେ ପ୍ୟୁରଲି ବେସ୍ଡ ଅନ୍ ୟୋର କ୍ୱାଣ୍ଟିଟେଟିଭ ମେଥଡ ଅଫ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ, ଅର୍ ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ସେ ଏମ୍ପିରିକାଲ ଏଭିଡେନ୍ସ। ଆଉ ସେଇଟା ତାପରେ ଆସିଲା ତମର କାର୍ଲ ପପର୍ସ ଫିଲୋସଫି ଅଫ ସାଇନ୍ସ। ଏଥିରୁ ତମେ 3ଟା ମେନ୍ ଜିନିଷ ପଢିବାକୁ ପଡିବ। କାର୍ଲ ପପର ପଢିବ, ତାପରେ ଆମ କୁନ୍ ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି ତମର। ତେଣୁ ପ୍ରଥମେ ତମେ ପଢିବ ହ୍ୱାଟ ଇଜ ପଜିଟିଭିଷ୍ଟ ଥିଓରି। It is a philosophical paradigm that is centered on the belief that reality is measurable and encompass only what one can directly observe from observation. ତାପରେ କ୍ୱାଣ୍ଟିଟେଟିଭ ମେଜରମେଣ୍ଟ। এইটা হচ্ছে প্রাইমারি আইডিয়া বিহাইন্ড পজিটিভ ইজ দ্যাট ক্রিমিনালস আর বর্ন as such and not made into criminals. It is the nature of the person. ତାର 5 ପ୍ରିନ୍ସିପଲ ଅଫ ପଜିଟିଭିଜମ ମନେ ରଖିବ, ସେଟା ଗୋଟେ ତମର ଅଛି। ତାପରେ ଇଣ୍ଡକ୍ଟିଭିଜମ, ଡିଡକ୍ଟିଭିଜମ। ଇଣ୍ଡକ୍ଟିଭିଜମ କୋ ଜାଣିଛ? ଯୋଉଟା କହିଲି ସେଟା, ସେ ଇଣ୍ଡକ୍ଟିଭ ଡିଡକ୍ଟିଭ ଯାହା, ଇଣ୍ଡକ୍ଟିଭିଜମ ଡିଡକ୍ଟିଭିଜମ ସେୟା। ଆଚ୍ଛା, ତାପରେ ତମର ଏଥିରେ ଆସିବ ଆଉ କ'ଣ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍? କମ୍ତେ କଥା ଆସିଗଲା ତମର, ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ? କମ୍ତେ, ଅଗଷ୍ଟ କମ୍ତେ, ଦ ଫାଦର ଅଫ ପଜିଟିଭିଜମ, ଦ ଫାଉଣ୍ଡର ଅଫ ସୋସିଓଲୋଜି। ତାଙ୍କ ମତରେ ଆକର୍ଡିଂ ଟୁ ହିମ୍, observation plus experiment is equal to truth. He purely believes in objectivity. First of all, you have to, and they totally avoid, এই জিনিসটা লেখিও, particularly these terms will be there. The positivist, or in positivism, they avoid metaphysical speculation. বুঝিপারছো তো? metaphysical, which does not exist in reality, जोटा वास्तव रे न थाए। डू यू बिलीव इन गॉड? तुम भगवान को विश्वास करछो ना नहीं?
Yes sir.
देखिछो कि? Have you ever seen? Have you ever seen God? तमे देखिछो कि भगवान को केबे देखिछो कि? Have you seen or have you felt? ମାନେ mentally you can, ନା ନାହିଁ, ମେଣ୍ଟାଲି ତମେ ସେଇଟା ଭାବୁଥିବ ଭଗବାନ ଅଛନ୍ତି, ଗୋଟେ ଏମିତି ସୁପର ନ୍ୟାଚୁରାଲ ଫୋର୍ସ ଅଛି, କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି ଜିନିଷ ଯୋଉଟା କି ଆମ ମାନେ which guides us, କି ଆମେ ତାକୁ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରୁଛେ, ଆଉ there is a supernatural power ଆମେ କହିପାରେ। କିନ୍ତୁ all these things are not subject to observation. All these things are not subject to measurement. ଆମେ ଜାଣିପାରିବାନି, we cannot feel, we cannot touch it, we cannot see it. ଆମେ କରିପାରିବାନି। ମେଣ୍ଟାଲି ଆମେ ଫିଲ୍ କରିପାରିବା, ଆମେ ଯୋଉଟା କହୁଛେ ସେଇଟା ତ ପଜିଟିଭ ବାଲା କହୁନାହାନ୍ତି। ସେମାନେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଦିଜ୍ ଆର୍ ଅଲ୍ ମେଟାଫିଜିକାଲ ସାଇନ୍ସେସ୍, ସ୍ପେକୁଲେସନ୍ସ। ତାଙ୍କ ମତରେ ଯେ way of looking at the world from the vantage point of scientific method, we have to see the world from the point of scientific method. Only those objects or events that can experience which are objectively true, जोटा objectively ठीक, ତାକୁ ଆମେ ଛୁଇଁ ପାରିବା, ଦେଖିପାରିବା, ତାକୁ ଏକ୍ସପିରିଏନ୍ସ କରିପାରିବା। and therefore they avoid your metaphysical science such as nature of God, freedom, ଆଉ ମୁଁ କହିବି immortality of soul, rebirth, ମଣିଷ ମରିଲା ପରେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଜନ୍ମ ନବ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ ଅଛି, କି ଆତ୍ମାଟା ଅମର ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ ଅଛି, they do not believe all these things। ତମ ଯୋଉ କହୁଛ ଯୋଉ ଏଇ ଟର୍ମରେ ଯୋଉ କହୁଛ ମୋର ମତେ ବହୁତ ବାଧିଲା, ମତେ ବହୁତ କଷ୍ଟ ହେଲା, ହୃଦୟକୁ ବାଧିଲା, ସେମାନେ ହାର୍ଟ ବୋଲି ବୁଝିବେ। ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ ଏ କଂକ୍ରିଟ ହାର୍ଟରେ ଏତିକି ସେଣ୍ଟିମିଟର ମାନେ ଏତିକି ସାଇଜର ହଉଛି ହାର୍ଟ, ତା ଫଙ୍କସନ ହେଲା ଏୟା, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ୱି ଅବଜର୍ଭ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ ଟ୍ରୁ। ବଟ୍ ଦ ଫିଲିଂ, ତମେ ଯୋଉ କହୁଛ ମୋ ଦେହକୁ ଏଇଟା ଲାଗିଲା, ମତେ କଷ୍ଟ ହେଲା, ଯୋଉ ହାର୍ଟକୁ ଛୁଇଁ ଗଲା, ମାନେ କ'ଣ? ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ କ୍ୱାଇଟ୍ ମେଟାଫିଜିକାଲ, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ନଟ୍ ବି ଅବଜର୍ଭ, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ନଟ୍ ବି ଟେକେନ୍ ଇଣ୍ଟୁ କନସିଡରେସନ୍। ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ସେମାନେ ପୁରା ପଜିଟିଭ ହିସାବରେ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା କହୁଛନ୍ତି। ତାପରେ ତାଙ୍କର ହଉଛି ମେନଲି ଅବଜର୍ଭେସନ, ଦେନ୍ ଏକ୍ସପେରିମେଣ୍ଟ, ଦେନ୍ କମ୍ପାରିଜନ ହେଲା। ତେଣୁ ସେଥିରେ ତମର ଆଉ କିଛି ଇଏ ନାହିଁ, ମେଟାଫିଜିକାଲ ବା ଥିଓଲୋଜିକାଲ ଆସ୍ପେକ୍ଟର କୌଣସି ଚାନ୍ସ ନାହିଁ। ତେଣୁ ମେଟାଫିଜିକାଲ ତାଙ୍କୁ ବି କ୍ରିଟିସାଇଜ କରାହେଇଛି, କ୍ରିଟିସିଜମ ପଜିଟିଭିଜମ। A deductive approach is less fruitful in sociology and instead an inductive approach would be more helpful। ये माने बेसी डिडक्टिव अप्रोच पर फंडामेंटल मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ रियलिटी, एथिक्स, इमोशंस, वैल्यूज एगुड़ा से कनसीडर करूना। এইটা ଟିକେ ଦେଖିବ। ତାପରେ କାର୍ଲ ପପରଙ୍କର ସେଇଟା ଦେଖିବ, କାର୍ଲ ପପରଙ୍କର ଯୋଉଟା ଅଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଆନ ଫିଲୋସୋଫର, ତାଙ୍କର ହଉଛି କ'ଣ, ମୁଁ ତମକୁ କହିଥିଲି ନଲେଜ ଇଭଲ୍ଭସ୍ ଫ୍ରମ୍ ଏକ୍ସପିରିଏନ୍ସ ଅଫ ଦ ମାଇଣ୍ଡ। ଗୁଡ୍ ସାଇନ୍ସ କ'ଣ, ସୁଡୋ ସାଇନ୍ସ କ'ଣ, ଫଲସିଫିଏବିଲିଟି କଥା ତମକୁ କହିଥିଲି। ଫଲସିଫିଏବିଲିଟି ମାନେ ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ ପ୍ରୁଭ୍ ସମଥିଙ୍ଗ ଆଜ୍ ଫଲ୍ସ। ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ତମେ ଏଇଟାକୁ କରୁଛ ଫଲସିଫିଏବିଲିଟି, ମୁଁ କହିବି ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ଖାଲି କଳା ନାହିଁ, ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ଧଳା ଖୋଜିକି ଆଣିଲେ ସେଇ ଥିଓରିଟା ଆପେ ଆପେ ଫଲ୍ସ ହେଇଯିବ। ମୁଁ କହିବି କେହି ମାନେ ଇଂଲଣ୍ଡରେ ମାନେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଗୋରା ଲୋକ ଅଛନ୍ତି, କଳା କେହି ନାହାନ୍ତି। ତମେ ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ କଳା ଲୋକ ଖୋଜି ଯାଇ ପହଞ୍ଚିଲ, ତାହେଲେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଯୋଉ ଥିଓରିଟା ଦେଲେ ସେ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ୱିଲ୍ ବି କଲ୍ଡ ମାନେ false or falsified, anything that can be falsified, ସେଇଟା it is a standard of evaluation of scientific theories। ଆଚ୍ଛା, ତେଣୁ ମୁଁ ଯୋଉ କହିଥିଲି ତମଟା ମନେ ରଖିଥିବ, the hypothesis that all swans are white can be falsified by observing a black swan। ସବୁ ହଂସ ଗୁଡା ଧଳା ଆମ ଯୋଉ ଥିଓରି ଯଦି ଅଛି, ତମେ you have to prove that you have to show it is false when you will be able to show a black swan, ଯେତେବେଳେ ତମେ ଆଣିପାରିବ। So Popper rejected the empirist view that basic statement is science is capable of being refuted by evidence। ଗଲା। ତାପରେ ମନେ ରଖିବା ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ କନସେପ୍ଟ ଏଥିରେ ଅଛି ପପରଙ୍କର ହାଇପୋଥେଟିକ ଡିଡକ୍ଟିଭ ମଡେଲ ହେଲା। ହାଇପୋଥେଟିକ ଡିଡକ୍ଟିଭ ମଡେଲ, ହାଇପୋଥେସିସ ଡିଡକ୍ଟିଭ ଦିଟା ମିଶିକି ସେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି। ତେଣୁ ଥିଓରି ଅଫ ଫଲସିଫିକେସନ ଏଟା ମନେ ରଖ। ଥିଓରି ଅଫ ଫଲସିଫିକେସନ ସେ କହିଲେ ରିଜେକ୍ସନ ଅଫ ଇଣ୍ଡକ୍ଟିଭ ଆପ୍ରୋच, ଫଲସିଫିକେସନ ୟୁଜିଂ ଡିଡକ୍ଟିଭ ଆପ୍ରୋच, ରିଜନିଂ, रियल साइंस वर्सेस सुडो साइंस। तापरे ना आम जो कहे इंडक्टिव रु जनरलाइज कर दौचे। तुम सपोज आई हैव टोल्ड यू दैट यू आर ट्रैवलिंग इन ए बस ऑफ ए पर्टिकुलर कंपनी and you have traveled 10 times in that particular bus of that company, and you found that bus came late and also you reached late, then you will come to the conclusion that bus of these companies are always running late। but that can be falsified, we do not observe the universe all the time, all the places। आमे खाली limited observation नहीं चे, 10 थर जाइए कि 10टा बस रे जाइए, तार 1000टा बस अछि। तेणु can you come to the conclusion that it is true? तेणु ये जो एग्जांपल तुम दबो falsification रे यूजिंग डिडक्टिव अप्रोच, all swans are white, all birds can fly, ତେଣୁ you have to start searching birds who cannot fly. ଯଦି theory ଆସିଲା all birds can fly, ତମେ ତାକୁ falsification theory କହୁଛି ଯେ you have to search for a bird who cannot fly. So according to him, true scientific method is deductive method, not inductive method. अच्छा तापर तमरो थॉमस कुन आसिले सेटा पैराडाइम शिफ्ट जोटा कहली एटा मन रख थॉमस कुन रो पैराडाइम शिफ्ट एथरा आसला साइंटिफिक रिवॉल्यूशन पैराडाइम शिफ्ट नॉर्मल साइंस एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी साइंस क्राइसिस एनोमलीज एटा तुम कहिची दैट कुन साइकिल टा कोन एई तीनटा मन रखिबो एतिकी जिंस तुम मन रखिबो गोटे हला साइंटिफिक रिवॉल्यूशन एटा मन रख कुन थॉमस कुन तांकर मेन इंपोर्टेंट हला पैराडाइम शिफ्ट माने व्हेन वी आर शिफ्टिंग फ्रॉम वन पैराडाइम टू अनदर पैराडाइम गोटे पैराडाइम माने गोटे लेवल बा गोटे येरु फ्रेमवर्क रु हम जतला आउ गोटे फ्रेमवर्क को जाउचे दैट इज कॉल्ड शिफ्टिंग ऑफ पैराडाइम. Okay, am I audible to you? Hello? Hello? Am I
Yes, sir.
audible?
Yes,
Okay,
sir. Yes, sir.
okay. So Thomas Kuhn, you must have read. Thomas Kuhn, important the concept is paradigm shift. So according to the structure of scientific revolution 1962. So I have told you the Kuhn cycle has scientific revolution, paradigm shift, normal science, extraordinary science, crisis, anomalies. And also you remember this. Do you know what is, I have also told you methodological monism, methodological dualism. Whatever I have taught you, only just I am recapitulating whatever I have taught you and what we have discussed. Okay? Do you remember what is methodological monism? The question will like this, what is methodological monism?
Yes, sir.
You would ask me this question? मते पचारथिले क्वेश्चन ना
Yes,
माने
sir.
कोन एटा
सर मेथोडोलॉजिकल मोनोजी मेथड जो यूज करछ मैं रिसर्च ପାଇଁ के तो मोनोजी माने सिंगल
yes हां हां there is a single universal method or approach which will suitable for all scientific disciplines. Okay, regardless of their subject matter, might be physics, might be chemistry, might be biology, doesn't matter. There is a single universal method or approach that is called monism. Monism means single method. But methodological dualism means there are two distinct and fundamental substances such as mind and body. Se कहउछन दुईटा जिनिस different aspect. Different types of research methods are adopted, not a single method. So in this particular chapter, please go through your तीनटा जिनिस पढ़िबो तमे. एथुरु तमरो प्रथमे तमरो आसीबो तमरो जोटा होची फादर ऑफ पॉजिटिविज्म के कहली तुमको अगस्ट कमते. सेकेंड तमरो आसीबो कार्ल पोपर एंड तापर तमरो आसीबो Kuhn. Thomas Kuhn. Then come to your models of scientific explanation. I think it is third unit. Third unit, naida
Yes, sir.
models of third unit. In this, you have to see what is unified. It a mone rako question. What are the unified view of rules of positivism? এটা ଗୋଟେ question ଆସିବ. Discuss the unified view of rules of positivism. Positivism. So in this case, what mane rakhicho tome lekhicho to rule of phenomenalism, rule of nominalism, rule of value free statements, rule of unit of science. Okay. lekhicho eta to ନା ପଢିନ ବହିରେ ଅଛି ওটা ତମର ବହିରୁ ଅଛି. Rule of phenomenalism କଣ କହିଲ? Suppose question will come this, what is the rule of phenomenalism? ତେଣୁ ପଜିଟିଭିଜିମର କ'ଣ ୟୁନିଫାଏଡ୍ ରୁଲ୍ ସବୁ ଅଛି? ଯଦି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଆସିବ ଏଟାକୁ କିଏ କହିଥିଲେ ତମେ ଭୁଲି ଯାଇଛ? ମୁଁ ତମକୁ କହିଥିଲି. କିଏ କହିଥିଲେ ଏଟା?
Kilakowski.
ହଁ, ୟେସ୍, କିଲାକୋସ୍କି. ରୁଲ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଫେନୋମେନଲିଜିମ୍ ହେଉଛି ଆଉ ଥରେ ତମକୁ କହିଦେଉଛି. ଆକ୍ଚୁଆଲି ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଏ ଫିଲୋସଫିକାଲ ଥିଓରି from which you can understand that the world through what we perceive rather than assuming. You will say what is the world actually. You without assuming what you perceive, then you can tell. Suppose there is a desk, there is a table or chair. ତମେ ସେଟା perceive କରୁଛ that it is made up of wood. You feel it, you see it, you observe it. That is called your phenomenalism. Nominalism, I have told you, nominalism जो nominalism only said only जो single object exist, single species. You cannot take a natural or general. ଗୋଟେ micro sense रे तमे नबो, not in macro sense. Okay? ମାନେ when you have identity of the own. Suppose you cannot say humanity. Humanity କହିଲେ it's a broader thing, ଗୋଟେ micro aspect ଚାଲି ଅଛି humanity. But when you say that he is a human being, then there is the identity of a singular identification. Okay? When you talk of redness, नाली नाली माने गोटे तमर नाली कलर बही हेई पारे, नाली कलर तमर विभिन्न जिंस नाली हेई पारे. तने when you are talking of a red color shirt, then that is called nominalism. You are specifically giving name to a particular object. Not the entire universe is being identified through this. Then the rule of value free statements, it aims to present information without personal biases. Second, rule of unit of science. Different areas of science like biology, chemistry, and even social sciences are not completely independent but share underlying principles. Rule of unit of science माने सब साइंस गुड़ाक इंटरलिंक्ड, इंडिपेंडेंट कहीं नुहति, इंटरलिंक्ड थांती. तापर तुमको सिलोजिज्म कथा कहितली. सिलोजिज्म मने अछि ना मने नाही?
Deductive reasoning.
हाँ,
It follows deductive reasoning.
हाँ, yes, that is correct. Express deductive reasoning having specific conclusions from general principle नहीं कि तमे specific conclusion नबो. Example परीक्षा रे गोटे देई दबो. No fish can survive without water. मु कहितली sharks are fish. So shark cannot survive without water. Categorical syllogism जानिचो नुहे कि all dogs are mammals कहितली तमरो all poodles are dogs, therefore all poodles are mammals. Hypothetical syllogism कहलो example.
It takes arbitrary statement.
Yes. Hypothetical माने तमरो you are not sure. might happen, may not happen, might not happen. Suppose the question is if it rains, the ground will be wet. I have told you, କହିଥିଲି ନା ଯଦି ବର୍ଷା ହବ ଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ଓଦା ହେଇଯିବ ତାପରେ ମୁଁ କହିଲି it is raining ତାପରେ conclusion you can draw therefore ground will be wet ବୁଝିପାରିଲ ତ it is hypothetical ଯଦି ବର୍ଷା ହବ ତାହେଲେ ଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ଓଦା ହବ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ବର୍ଷା ହଉଛି ତାମାନେ ଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ଓଦା ହେଇଯିବ ଆଉ କ'ଣ it is called hypothetical ତାପରେ ମନେ ରଖିଥିବ deductive fallacies କ'ଣ ଜାଣିଛ fallacy ମନେ ଅଛି logical fallacy verbal fallacies material fallacies ওটা ଦେଖିଛ ନା ନାଇଁ କିଛି ମନେ ଅଛି ନା ଭୁଲିଗଲଣି logical fallacy କହିଥିଲି ନା is an argument that can be disproven through reasoning ମୁଁ କହିଥିଲି you are attacking a person instead of argument argument ଟାକୁ ତମେ attack କରୁନ ତମେ person ଟାକୁ ମୁଁ କହିଥିଲି example you can trust what John says about climate change he is a known liar ତା ମାନେ ସେ ମିଛୁଆ ତେଣୁ ତମେ ତା କଥା କେହି ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରିବନି ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ କଲ୍ଡ ୟୋର ଲଜିକାଲ ଫାଲାସି ଦେନ୍ ଭର୍ବାଲ ଫାଲାସି ତ ମୁଁ କହିଥିଲି ଭର୍ବାଲ ମାନେ ଲେଖିବା ଭିତରେ କହିବା ଭିତରେ ଯୋଉ ତମର ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ମିସଲିଡିଂ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଇନକରେକ୍ଟ ୟୁଜ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ୱିଲ୍ ଲିଡ୍ ଟୁ ଫାଲାସି ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ କହିଥିଲି soap save soaps and waste paper material fallacy ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି ତମର material fallacy ମାନେ the brick is lightweight and therefore can you say that the building is lightweight that is called material fallacy because other than bricks so many materials have been used in the construction of building ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ମନେ ରଖିବ hypothetical deductive model HD model this is very important from your exam ବନ୍ଧୁ ସେନ କହିଥିଲି HD model ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି DN model ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି hypothetical deductive model example ତମକୁ କହିଥିଲି a scientist observes that a plant wilts when it is not watered କହିଥିଲି ନା hypothesis ହେଲା the scientist proposes that the plant wilts because it is not getting enough water ସେଥିରୁ ଆମେ କ'ଣ deduct କରିବା theory ରୁ if the plant is wilting due to lack of water then watering should resolve the problem ପାଣି ଦେଲେ ଗଛଟା ଆଉ ଇଏ ହବନି ତାପରେ you have to go for test ତେଣୁ ତାପରେ scientist waters the plant and observes whether it recovers ତେଣୁ ସେଇଥିରୁ ତମର hypothesis ଟା prove ହବ ଯଦି ଗଛଟା ବଞ୍ଚିଲା ତାହେଲେ hypothesis ଟା true ହେଲା ଯଦି ମରିଗଲା ତମର false ହେଇଗଲା ତାହେଲେ ପାଣି ଦେଲେ ବି ଗଛ ବଞ୍ଚୁନି ତାପରେ 7ଟା step ତମର ମନେ ରଖ broad problem କହିଥିଲି 7 steps in the method এটা ଆଗରୁ ତମକୁ କହିଛି ବୋଧେ identity broad problem area define problem statement develop hypothesis determine measures ଗଲା ତାପରେ ତମେ ଦେଖିବ deductive nomological model nomological जो Hempel ଆଉ Oppenheim model ସେଇଟା ତମ example ଦେଇଥିଲି why a metal bar expands when heated initial condition ହେଲା metal bar is heated and the law is that all metals expand when heated therefore the bar expands এটা ତମକୁ କହିଥିଲି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ତମର ମେଥଡ ଅଛି inductive probabilistic বা IT method IT method what is IT method this attempts to give the probability of future events based on past events it is the basis for inductive reasoning for example a model predicting tomorrow's weather may conclude there is a 70% chance of sun 20% chance of rain and 10% chance of cloud এটা probability ତାପରେ explanation in କହିଥିଲି non physical science chemistry art science engineering science material science based on empirical evidence and testable ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ତ the physical science ଯେତିକି explanation they are बेस्ट एम्पिरिकल एविडेंस उपरे बेस करछि एंड टेस्टेबल नॉन साइंस जोटा होछि नॉन साइंस माने दोज व्हिच आर नॉट साइंस they can be considered with beliefs and topics that cannot be empirically tested. So non-science research ଆମେ ଯୋଉ କରୁଛେ is acquiring knowledge and truths about the world using techniques that do not follow the scientific method. When you are collecting data regarding the behavior, regarding the attitude of students in a particular school, you are taking data technique ତମେ use କରୁଛ ଏଥିରୁ ତମେ କଣ ପାଉଛ କ୍ୱାଣ୍ଟିଟେଟିଭ ମେଜରମେଣ୍ଟ କିଛି ହଉନି but you are gathering data for your acquiring knowledge and truth actually କଣ ହଉଛି ବୋଲି ଜାଣିବା ପାଇଁ ଆମର ସେଇଟା ଦରକାର ତାପରେ ତମର 4th ୟୁନିଟ୍ ଆସୁଛି डिबेट्स ऑन मॉडल्स ऑफ एक्सप्लेनेशन इन इकोनॉमिक्स ଏଇଥିରେ ଆମେ ଗୁଡାଏ ପଢିଛେ କ୍ଲାସିକାଲ ଇକୋନୋମିକ୍ସ ବିଷୟରେ ତମକୁ କହିଛି ଯେ ତମର classical political economy कौन मु तुमको कहली first of all you have to know what is classical political economy तापर मेथड कौन आडम स्मिथ किए तुम जानिलो and Ricardo's contribution that means emphasize the role of laws in shaping economic phenomena focusing on the distribution of wealth and advocating for free trade. I have told you Ricardo has given an important theory in international trade, that is theory of cost advantage. And his principle of political economy is clearly discerned as positive, abstract, and deductive. So, he uses hypothetical deductive model of explanation. Other economists, earlier economists, they focused more on describing economic tendencies. But Ricardo utilized the hypothetical deductive model. That means it is purely positive, abstract, and deductive. I have also told you Ricardo focused on free trade and laissez-faire. A state is a laissez-faire state means least interference of the government in economic activity. Laissez-faire. And he advocated free trade. There should not be any restriction on the import and export of goods from one country to another country. Free trade से कहले से गोटे देशରୁ अन्य देशରେ ଜିନିଷ ପତ୍ର ଆମଦାନୀ ରପ୍ତାନୀରେ କୌଣସି ବାଧା ବନ୍ଧକ ରହିବା ଉଚିତ ନୁହେଁ ଏଇଟା ଲେଖିବ ତମେ laissez-faire ଗୋଟେ free trade ଗୋଟେ and ତାଙ୍କର methods of explanation କଣ ଥିଲା what is his model he applied scientific principles including logical abstraction to understand the economic process. Then he sought to uncover the fundamental laws that govern economic phenomena such as the law of diminishing return and theory of comparative advantage. He has actually theory deductive he has taken the example. Take for example, I have told you while explaining his theory of comparative cost, he has explained how the free trade will be beneficial for both the countries. I have given you an example. Suppose tomorrow in one country, suppose cotton is England रे cotton production बेसी होची आउ इंडिया रे मनकर suppose rice production बेसी होची. So people of India also need cotton and people of England also need rice. So according to Ricardo, that due to climatic condition, soil condition, a particular country is specialized in the production of certain goods. जेमती India धान उत्पादन ପାଇଁ ଭଲ ତାର ଜଳବାୟୁ ହେଲା ତାର ମୂର୍ତ୍ତିକା ହେଲା ତାର ସବୁ ଭଲ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଅଧିକା ପ୍ରୋଡକ୍ସନ ହେଇ ପାରିବ ତମର ପାକିସ୍ତାନ ରେ ସରି ଇଂଲଣ୍ଡ ରେ ଯେତିକି ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚରେ ତମ ଧାନ ଉତ୍ପାଦନ ଯେତିକି କରି ପାରିବ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ରେ ଅଧିକା ହେଇ ପାରିବ ସେମିତି cotton can be produced in larger quantities with less expenditure in England because the climatic condition is suitable for the production of cotton. ତା କ୍ଲାଇମେଟ କଣ୍ଡିସନ କଟନ ପାଇଁ ୟୁଜ୍। ତେଣୁ ସେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ନିଡ୍ ନଟ୍ ପ୍ରଡ୍ୟୁସ୍ ବୋଥ୍ କଟନ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଥିଓରିଟାକୁ ନେଇକିରି ସେ ସ୍ପେସିଫିକ୍ କେସ୍ ଆସି କହିଛନ୍ତି ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ନିଡ୍ ନଟ୍ ପ୍ରଡ୍ୟୁସ୍ ମାନେ ଡିଡକ୍ଟିଭ ମଡେଲ ହି ହାଜ୍ ୟୁଟିଲାଇଜ୍ ଦ ଡିଡକ୍ଟିଭ ମଡେଲ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ନିଡ୍ ନଟ୍ ପ୍ରଡ୍ୟୁସ୍ ବୋଥ୍ କଟନ ଆଣ୍ଡ ରାଇସ୍ and England need not produce both cotton and rice. England ଯୋଉଥିରେ ସ୍ପେଶାଲାଇଜେସନ କଟନ ସେଇଟା ପ୍ରଡକ୍ସନ କରୁ ଆଉ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ଯୋଉଥିରେ ସ୍ପେଶାଲାଇଜେସନ ସେଇଟାରେ ପ୍ରଡକ୍ସନ କରୁ ତାପରେ କଣ ହବ ଦେନ୍ ଟ୍ରେଡ୍ ୱିଲ୍ ଟେକ୍ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ India will export rice to England and in return it will get cotton from England. So both the countries will be beneficial. This is theory of Ricardo, the comparative cost advantage. So therefore he has utilized the deductive hypothetical model. He general theory से example examine करिकिरी theoretically प्रमाण करी देखैछन्ति जे actually this is beneficial. तेणु तापरे आसिले हमर NW senior कौन कहले as the abstract method involved building economy. तांकर हला seniors work explored the concept of abstinence, the sacrifice of consumption. I have told you ଯଦି ଲୋକମାନେ consumption କମେଇ ଦେବେ income ରୁ ତାହେଲେ ବେଶୀ portion will be invested and there will be accumulation of capital. Senior was a strong advocate for a scientific approach to political economy. He was also a strong advocate, remember, to scientific approach to political economy. Then comes J.S. Mill. J.S. Mill focused on general laws and principles. J.S. Mill also professed empirical observation. He also relied on deductive reasoning and stressed the importance of empirical observation to test and refine economic theory. According to him, economic theory should be developed on the basis of empirical observation, not on the basis of assumptions, unrealistic assumptions. ତେଣୁ ତାଙ୍କର ମତରେ production and distribution, deductive reasoning, importance of stationary stress. ତାପରେ ଆସିଲେ J.E. Cairns କହିଲେ is according to him political economy is a hypothetical and deductive science. He also said that political economy is a deductive science. Then comes John Neville Keynes. I have told you he is not John Maynard Keynes. James Keynes nୁହେଁ, he is the father of John Maynard Keynes. James Keynes, the British economist, and also he insisted that both inductive and deductive methods are essential components for some sound economic analysis. Se कहले dita jinso inductive and deductive both should be utilized. He felt that the inductive reasoning provided the general premises. आमे inductive रू general को जाउछे, general रू आमे आसुछे, deductive हेगी आमे specific को आसुछे. So according to him, both the methods should be applied in socio-political economy. Then comes Robbins positivism and according to Robbins, I have told you he also believed in empirical evidence. Robbins, not directly opposing positivism, argued that economists could establish certain fundamental principles deductively. He did not directly oppose positivism. Positivism is purely based on empirical evidence and observation and objectivity. But he did not directly, but he said that the inductive method is not so suitable, but deductive method is better while explaining a theory. Then comes Husserlian and logical empiricism in economics. Terence Husserl, I have told you, he argued that economic theories should be grounded in observable facts and testable hypotheses. According to him, the things which you observe should take place in the theories and that should be tested. The hypothesis should be tested. The hypothesis which cannot be tested should not be form a theory. So he gives emphasis on empirical evidence, data analysis. He criticized the reliance on abstract theoretical assumptions. He believed in testable hypotheses and logical empiricism. That means empirical fact and observation ଉପରେ ତାଙ୍କ theory base କରୁଥିଲା. Then comes Milton Friedman. Milton Friedman believes in instrumentalism. Instrumentalism means what? tools or instruments for understanding or predicting the world rather than descriptions of fundamental reality. He did not believe in description of facts, rather, he believed the tools or instruments which will explain a particular thing. According to him, a good economic theory is one that accurately predicts the real and economic events. So Friedman acknowledged that economic models often employ simplifying assumptions such as rational utility, maximizing individual profit. And he argues that these assumptions are not meant to be a liberal depiction of utility, but rather a tool for making meaningful predictions. According to him, assumptions which are taken are only used for depiction of reality for a meaningful prediction. But Paul Samuelson and operationalism, that is Paul Samuelson work I have told you, rebuild preference theory. According to him, it is based on their actual purchasing decisions rather than rely hypothetical statements. Samuelson did not believe in hypothetical statements, but according to him, what is the actual purchasing capacity or decision of the people, what we observe that we should take. We should not believe in ଏତିକି ଟଙ୍କା ବଢିଲେ ଦାମ ଏତିକି ଟଙ୍କା ସେମାନେ କିଣିବେ ଏତିକି ହେଲେ ଏହା ହବ ଏଇଟା that is called purely ଆମେ କହୁଛେ hypothetical. ଆମେ ଯୋଉ କହିଲେ ମାର୍ଶାଲ ଯୋଉ ତମର ଯୋଉ utility analysis ରେ particular unit ର ଦାମ 5 ଟଙ୍କା ହେଲେ ଲୋକମାନେ 100ଟା କିଣୁଛନ୍ତି 2 ଟଙ୍କା ହେଲେ ଲୋକ ଆମେ 200 କିଣିବେ. We have assumed it, not that ଲୋକମାନେ ନ କିଣି ପାରନ୍ତି. You have to see actually the decision of the people, real decision of the people, what they are actual purchasing, not that what they are supposed to purchase. You should not take those things into consideration. Then comes Amartya Sen, you know Amartya Sen. Amartya Sen also on heterogeneity of explanation. Sen argued that not all individuals and groups are the same and their needs, preference, capabilities vary significantly. For example, I have told you child's nutritional needs differ from those of an adult, and a person with disability may have different resources and support to achieve the same outcome. So Sen also emphasized that people's preferences are not fixed but can be influenced by social norms and their influences. ତେଣୁ ସେନ୍ କହୁଛନ୍ତି they require more opportunity than men, leading to a lower level of aspiration and participation. And different individual groups and situations require unique explanations and solutions. So according to Sen, that because we are having different groups, different types of people, so the theory will be also different for them. It will not be similar or it will not be exact. So you have to, this is all about your, I think, interpretavism and critical theory paradigm. That we have also discussed. So this is all about what your block 1, and you should write the main जो टर्म गुड़ा जा अच्छी सेगुड़ा लेखिबो सेटा को टिके नोट करिके लेखिकिरी से अनुसार प्रिपेयर करिवो फॉर योर एग्जाम.
Again, sir.
Okay. You can do it. I think you will do it. Definitely, I will expect no problem. Anything else?
No, sir.
No. So thank you all. I think I have been able to make you understand something, if not many things of this particular blog. Kichi kichi buji paricho 30-40%. Is not it? ଶୁଣିଲା ପରେ ବହିଟା ଟିକେ ପଢିବାକୁ ଇଚ୍ଛା ହବ, ଦେଖିବାକୁ ଇଚ୍ଛା ହବ, ତମେ ସେଟାକୁ ସେଇଥିରୁ ବାଛିକିରି ଯୋଉଟା ମୁଁ କହିଲି ସେଟାକୁ ଆଣିକି ଗୋଟେ ନୋଟ୍ ଖାତାରେ ଲେଖିକି ରଖ. ପରୀକ୍ଷା ବେଳକୁ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ପିଓରଲି ରିଲାଏ ଅନ୍ ଦିସ୍ ବୁକ୍, ପରୀକ୍ଷାକୁ ବହି ଦେଖିକି ଯିବ. Before exam, keep aside your book or study material. And before that, ତମେ ସେଥିରୁ ଯାହା ଦରକାର ସବୁ ଟାଣି ନିଜ ଖାତାରେ ଦେଖ, which you understand and which you actually have ବେଳକୁ ସେଇ ଗୁଡା ଖାଲି ଆଖି ପକେଇକି ଯିବ, ଆଉ କିଛି ଦେଖିବନି। ବହିଟା ଏବେ ଯାହା ପଢୁଛ ପରୀକ୍ଷା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ସେ ଖାତା କଲା ପରେ ବହିଟା ଆଉ ଦେଖିବା ଛାଡିଦବ, ବହି ଦେଖିବନି, ବହି ଦେଖିଲେ କନଫ୍ୟୁଜନ ଆସିଯିବ। ତେଣୁ ଯୋଉ ଟର୍ମ ଗୁଡାକ ଯୋଉ ୱାର୍ଡ ଗୁଡା ତାର ଡେଫିନେସନ ଗୁଡାକ ଯୋଉଟା ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି, ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଗୁଡାକ ଯୋଉଟା ମନେ ରଖିଛ, I will definitely do well. I don't have any doubt about it. Thing is that ଏଥିରେ ହଉଛି ତମେ ଜିନିଷଟା ବୁଝିବ ନିଜ ଭାଷା ଦେଇକି, you have to language ଦେଇକି ତମେ ଖାଲି ଲେଖିବା କଥା, vocabulary ଦେଇକି ଲେଖିବା କଥା ସେଠି।
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Hope all the best for your exam. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. Right.
Thank you, sir.